Cliches and redundancies. So, what is a cliche? A cliche refers to an expression or an idea which has been used so much that it has lost its freshness and effect. When too many cliches are used in writing or in speech, the audience tends to lose interest in the message being conveyed. Cliches become a barrier to clarity in communication since they can distort our original message. So, how do we explain this further? Uh, See, there's so many instances where we actually heard this word cliche being used. For instance, when somebody is asked to comment upon how they feel about a certain thing, or what would they like to say about a certain situation in which they are, uh, you know, a typical answer that is very often given. For instance, if somebody chooses to say, "Oh, we are just friends," so that is a very cliched answer with regard to a certain set of people or whatever it is. So anything that is very often repeated, like it was explained earlier, which also fails to sustain the interest of the listener as against the person who is speaking. So what we can see over here is also something similar, all ears, raining cats and dogs, apple of my eye. So these are certain phrases you may say, which are very often used, but actually makes it kind of uninteresting to the listener. So yeah, like it was defined earlier, it's an overused and worn out expression used to convey a popular thought or an idea. That's what we try to learn with the example that we just discussed now. It's actually, the word cliche has its origin from the French language. That's how it is pronounced in that way, that extended pronunciation when it comes towards the end of the word, cliche. So it's also a stereotype, what you're supposed to be learning over here. So what are those examples? We have already had a couple of them. What we can see over here is uh, an extension of the same. Every cloud has a silver lining. Practice makes a man perfect, and so on and so forth. Uh, Now, cliches can also be looked at in so many ways. That is, they could be proverbs, they could be sayings, they could be idioms, phrases that are used in idiomatic usage. Uh, for instance, in the present day and age, people are increasingly sharing recipes for healthy food on the internet. This is an example that I've taken from the text over here, the prescribed text for the first year curriculum. So, how can we explain this example in terms of cliche? The expression in the present day and age refers to the present time. So, for better substitute for the cliched expression would be nowadays. The sentence would now read, that is, instead of the phrase present day and age in the above example that we just heard, we can rephrase it by using the word called nowadays. Nowadays, people are increasingly sharing recipes for healthy food on the internet. So that's how one can avoid being cliche. So here are certain ways in which cliches can be used: proverbs, sayings, like I said earlier, idioms. So let's also look at some of the idioms. I'm over the moon. Never bite the hands that feeds you. Now it's just putting your leg. So here the examples are talking about the moon or pulling somebody's leg or biting a hand. Literally, the words which are used over here are not to be taken in a literal sense. So that's how they become idioms. So they're using some of these idioms also in a repeated manner can lead to boredom or a lack of variety in what the speaker wishes to say. So catchphrases is yet another way where you can avoid or rather take care with regard to not being repetitive. Similes, metaphors are so many other ways where you can use cliches. Uh, Now, that was as far as cliches, where we're trying to use something which is very often repeated, which can actually lead to a lot of boredom. So, something similar to that, which would actually come under the same, uh, you know, genre of language learning, as we may say, redundancies. Here, redundancy is anything that is repeated. That is, while speaking or writing, clear and concise communication is essential for the audience to comprehend the message. One of the ways in which clarity can be ensured is by avoiding redundancy in writing and speaking. That's what I was trying to say. Redundancy is anything that could mean repetition, actually. So here's an example. At this point of time, it now becomes absolutely necessary for us to consider an alternative method. So very quickly, there are a set of words that would come to the listener's mind that is absolutely necessary. So it is anything but obvious that those two words, one of the words are being repeated. So that is nothing but what we define as being redundant, or the term being called as redundancy. Though the sentence is grammatically correct, unnecessary words have been used at this point of time and now mean the same. Necessary means something that is essential and hence absolutely does not add to the meaning. Therefore, the sentence, the example that we just discussed now, it can be re-said in this manner where this aspect of redundancy is being taken care of. That is, there is no repetition. And how is that? It has now become necessary for us to consider alternative methods for completing the project. So, absolutely necessary, we have decided to skip off, do away with absolutely, and using necessary, using the word only necessary is doing more than its job for the example that we discussed over here. So, eliminating redundancies is all about putting forth your point in as few words as possible. The best way to eliminate redundancy is to go through your draft of both written and spoken communication, such as letters, reports, speeches, etc., and to make sure that there are no superfluous words or phrases.